All right. So what's up, Dave? How are you?
Good. How about you? Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for joining me, man. You're Chicago's most famous ghost hunter.
That means a lot because it takes so much work. It really does. Not just the setup, the investigating, but the after investigating, going through all the video and evidence, hearing this makes it worthwhile because sometimes I think to myself, why am I wasting my time doing all this? Because it takes weeks. If you really do it right and with all the cameras and audio I have going, I listen very, very closely, so it takes me a long time.
Yeah, so let's sort of get into it and let people know. So you're a ghost hunter. You're based out of Chicago,
Yes.
and how long have you been ghost hunting?
Well, I started buying equipment in 2008. I formed my own team in 2009, and that's when I kind of went wild from
Yeah,
2009 on.
yeah. So I mean, so I guess the cool thing that is, so you're a police officer, right?
Yes. Yeah,
And
for
then you have a firefighter.
yes, Max, yeah, which is a very good combo. Yeah, actually, I have a new member on the team. He's a canine handler for CPD, and we're going to try to train a dog to sniff out spirit energy.
What?
Now, we had a long talk. I mean, the new member and he thinks he'll be able to do it, especially with all my energy pumps that I have. He trains the dog for narcotics, bombs, and you name it. So he thinks we can do it. So it's just a matter of time. We got to find the right dog, and that'd be interesting.
I mean, if you can do that, I would love to do a video with you. I mean, that's insane, man. How do you train? I mean, I don't understand. How do you train a dog to sniff spirits? I mean, that's
It's just a theory. There's been some on shows before, and I don't know if they were trained or if they were just a family dog they brought on a show or whatever. But I can never say 100% it's going to work. But I don't know. We he thinks it's a good possibility, but we got to find. He can't use the city dog that he has because that's paid by the city. But yeah, so we'll have to either one of his dogs, one of our team members' dogs, maybe one of my dogs. All my dogs are little cutie pies, so I don't know if that's going to work for a show.
I mean, that would be kind of cool. This little sweet little dog finding
They're little
creepy.
pygmies, spirits. Oh man,
I would love that. You know, those little lap dogs sniffing out ghosts. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. We'll have to see. We'll start working on that maybe next year, and because I tell you, I did get some phone calls from production companies asking me if I had um, any dogs that sniff out spirits on the team, and I told them not at this time, but maybe in the future.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I guess how yeah, I don't know. So let's get into your evidence. You know, what are you I guess what is the most insane evidence that you've ever captured? I saw a photo of a guy in a graveyard that freaked me out.
Oh,
So,
you're talking about mine or
yeah, what's the craziest evidence that you've ever collected?
oh, that's a good one. I mean, I do have some good full-bodied apparitions that are, they're you look at them like, wow, you just can't believe it. I mean, I put them up there, but as for maybe video evidence, I had some pretty good stuff using the SLS camera. They call it the Connect system. I have two different systems. I got some really cool stuff from that. Um, but my favorite one, I think, I just this was at a hotel in Wisconsin called the Karsten Inn or Karsten Hotel, and I just got this system. It was brand new. It was probably right after the Connect was seen on Ghost Adventures, and I finally got the system. Finally learned how to use it, and I set it up in the hallway, and we got some outstanding evidence from it. And I think the spirit got mad because we caught this on the DVR camera in the hallway. We were just setting it up to do another session. It was investigator Jen and
Mhm.
myself, and I had it in the hallway in a tripod, and I had cameras, recording everything. and something knocked it right off the table, and it was doing like cartwheels until it hit the wall. And I remember the guy at command center, Chris. He goes, he hits me on the walkie-talkie, Dave. It was exciting.
If you guys tripped over it, it would have just fell. That went flying towards the other wall.
What?
So
It would have come backwards.
it didn't look right.
Yeah, it went down hard. I hope it's not broken.
But I thought it was broken. So I'm like, oh man, I just spent all this money and now it's broken. So I went in the hallway and well, at first I didn't know what it was, so I just heard a loud bang. But when I saw it on the ground, I'm like, God damn, And so I picked it up from the ground, and then we actually got 2 EVPs at maybe, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute after that occurred. And what is cool before that, before it got knocked down, and I'm not a big orb or anomaly, light anomaly believer. I mean, there's times it's outstanding, but just because you see something on video or on a picture, you can't automatically say, hey, that's an orb or spirit energy.
Right. It could be dust.
Got to do something to me to believe outstanding, show intelligent movement, strobe. Sometimes I'll get them like tornadoes, but anyway, we got 2 intelligent orbs or light anomalies that came from the room, maybe 2 rooms down, and you could just see the intelligent movements that it made, and it followed me into the room. And then next thing you know, this damn thing's flipping across the room, hitting the wall. So that was a really cool piece. A lot of people talk about that. So
No, that was at the Chicago Theater.
that one was at the Karsten Hotel.
Oh, okay.
3rd floor.
Because I saw the one at the Chicago Theater. I think we put that in the video that we did together. And
The Congress Theater, yeah.
or yeah, I'm sorry, the Congress Theater, and that was pretty insane too. I mean, a lot of times these orbs, people. I mean, they're like, oh, it's something, but it's really just dust, right?
Right. Yeah.
But like what you said is, when this thing goes up and then it's cruising, and then it goes in. I mean, I'll put it on the screen so people can see this. I guess if you're listening, check out the YouTube channel. There's a video there, but it's insane to see that.
You know what is so cool about that too is I have to give credit where credit's due. Psychic medium Susan Rowland, she told me where to place these cameras, because I'm getting goosebumps and chills just talking about it. But she said she saw spirits sitting in these seats. She said, make sure you got the cameras facing this direction, because she says she sees the projectionist who passed away showing movies to spirits that are still earthbound in a theater. And so, man, we got lucky. We put the cameras there, and we put one on the seats where she said, also one in the hallway where she said they're going in and out. And yeah, these I tell you, before that I didn't really believe in orbs, but these were intelligent. They're like a piece of energy of a spirit that's walking. Just the movement, especially the ones in the hallway, or coming in and out of the door, and then the one's popping out of the seat. It raises up and shoots out like a rocket. I mean,
yeah, it must have hated the movie. It's like, I'm out of here. This movie sucks.
Yeah, but yeah,
isn't that wild to think about?
There's truth to light anomalies, but you can explain most of them away, but there's some that are legit.
Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that be wild if there's actually people in that theater watching a movie, or maybe they're like stuck in that realm and they just keep watching the movie over and over? I mean, I really don't know, but it is weird that, like Susan was saying, there's entities down there, they're watching a movie, or the guy's projecting a movie, and then you have this evidence of these orbs going in and out of that room. I mean, it's so weird. I mean, I'm still kind of on the fence maybe about believing in ghosts. I mean, I'm more like, yes, I do believe, but I've never seen one. But judging from the stuff I've seen from you and like other things that I've seen, and obviously I work with Susan,
right?
I have to believe, right?
you know,
I've just never seen anything, so it's hard.
mind. You know, I'm not here to force this on anyone. Everyone can make up their own mind. But I tell you, even though stuff that happened to me when I was younger that opened my eyes to it, like, hey, I think there's something out there. I was still, maybe it's the police in me, but very skeptical. And I had to prove it to myself, even though I knew from experiences when I was younger, but I still, until I experienced it myself, I'm like you, I'm very skeptical. And same thing with Matt, but Matt is now a believer. And, but you gotta have that skeptical side because not everything's paranormal.
Yeah. So what was that experience that pushed you over the top?
Well, I tell you, this is the truth. When I was younger, I would hear, and it sounds like, I always hate to say it, but it sounds like maybe I'm nuts or something. But as a child, I remember hearing muffling, disembodied voices, especially when I'm getting ready to go to sleep. And I remember at times I got my mom, and Mom, could you come into my room? I hear these voices. I don't know what they're trying to say. So at a young age, I was, I think I'm a little bit on a sensitive side. I don't know what you would call me, but I still hear it to this day, and not all the time, but at times, especially on investigations, or if I'm in a certain type of mood, sometimes it seems like I could pick up what I believe to be disembodied voices from the spirit world. And so as I got older, I was still experiencing stuff. And then I started experiencing, like picking up energy from things like spirit energy, where, you get the electrical charge. And it seems like I could at times sense when they were around, but I could never see them. And so that's what really got me into it. And then once I started working my side job at Wright College, which was the old Dunning Institution, Chicago State Hospital, there's thousands of bodies buried there, and had experiences there, and had old timers that are 60, 50 years old telling me all these stories. That's when I started buying equipment.
So actually, let's get into that, man. You spent a decent amount of money.
Believe it that way.
You converted an ambulance into a ghost hunting mobile.
That's what I'm in now. You probably can't see the monitor behind me, but yeah, I'm in Misty now, the command center.
And you bought all this equipment, high tech. I mean, basically, I feel like you have better equipment than ghost shows.
That's what people say. I don't want to say so because it sounds like then I'm conceited or something. But people say I have more than a networks do. But I don't know.
I'll say it for you. I think you do. Well, I mean, I can see how you want to get, like you get that one piece of evidence, like that photo that I saw where there's like a man in a graveyard.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's the craziest photo I've ever seen. And I'll put that on the screen so people can see that too. But
graveyard you're talking about. Well, I was lucky enough. One graveyard I caught two apparitions. There's a third one, Bachelor's Grove, where I caught like a really short person, a full-bodied apparition. But I tell you that the first one I ever caught, and this was my first full-spectrum camera, and at that time it was kind of new to the scene, where it uses IR and UV lighting, and the theory is the spirit worlds in that spectrum of lighting. So we're at this graveyard, and I was in this area alone. Everyone was way off in the distance, and I kept on hearing crunching. This is so cool. There was acorns all over the ground, so I hear, I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, it's got to be a deer, because we saw deer, we're out in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin. So I have a thermal imaging camera, which is great for stuff like this. Help debunk to see if it's an animal and anything living that's going to give off heat. Nothing. I scanned the whole area. And then, so I put that down, and I started taking full spectrum photos. And I usually take several in one direction so I could compare them. So say I'm taking 10 here, I'll take 10 more, and maybe do a circle or something like that. Taking 10 at a time, 8 at a time. And one of the photos, walking away from a grave, I caught a full-bodied apparition. And that's what I think I heard walking, there was nothing else there other than me.
that's so crazy, man. Did you run? You're like, ah?
I didn't see it at that time. I saw it later when I met everyone else then, and I went through the photos. I'm like, holy shit, And then maybe a half hour later with the group, there was another medium there, and he says, Dave, a male just came out of the brush, because it's just a really small cemetery surrounded by forest preserve. And he said, a man just came to me out of the brush. He said, and we heard movement. Once again, we thought it was a deer, so we scanned the area thinking it's a deer or an animal, and it came up empty. So he goes, grab your camera and start taking photos. And this is another one, a full-bodied apparition standing right next to him, looking like he has some type of baggy, maybe uniform or something on. And what is so cool about that too is, not only did I capture its photo, but I captured its voice maybe 2 or 3 times answering the medium's questions. A graspy male voice answering.
Wait,
So,
did I hear that? I don't think I heard that.
I don't know if you heard that one or not.
Do you have that online somewhere?
No, I'll have to dig that up. I do have it.
There are more than 10 spirits out here tonight. No. So is there 7 spirits I'm talking to now? Are you a male? 5.4. 5.4? Can you point me to your tombstone?
This is all happening at once. It's you get the voice, we heard the sounds, and then caught an apparition. So it's, yeah, that one was a good one. And
Yeah, I did.
Oh, go ahead.
I did hear other voices that you captured. I mean, I think that was the Congress Theater as well, where it said, "I'm going to kill you."
Yeah, there's a voice, and it's I don't know if it's funny or not, but that's the first time I was there, and this might be after Susan did her thing. Susan was there at the very beginning. I don't know if she was there at that time or not, but we're walking in, and there was a concert the day before, so there's all these plastic beer cups everywhere. We're crunching them, and we're walking from the concert area up to the stage, and we're going to head to the basement, which is off to the right of the stage, take the stairs down. And one of our camcorders, as we're walking, captured a voice, and it might have been talking to my wife, because there was only 2 females, and my wife was the closest one to that. And I think it's that projectionist, because they said the projectionist is a little bit on the slow side. He wasn't, well, I don't know how to say, he just wasn't all there,
Right.
And it sounds really weird, and it says, I'm going to rape you. I'm going to rape you. So I wonder if it's talking about my wife at the time. Well, at the time, her fiance, but anyway.
Yeah, I'll have to for people to hear that. I'll put it in the video too. I mean, and basically you slow it down and you play it normal, and you can kind of hear and judge for yourself what that noise is.
Right.
And that's what I like about what you do, and kind of what you spoke about before is it takes forever to go back, because you're just recording, right? And then you
Could you hang on a second?
yeah.
I hope it's my daughter, because something's knocking on me.
Oh my God, what is that?
I don't know. Oh, that is you. I'm doing an interview.
Okay.
The house door's open if you're doing
Okay.
it. Okay. You scared the crap out of me. I didn't know what it was. Okay. You want to come say hi a second?
Sure.
It's always something crazy. Hey, how are you?
Sorry about that.
All good, man. That always happens, like we're doing these things and all of a sudden weird things happen.
Yeah, I tell you, one interview I did at my side job at the college there, that was the insane asylum. I'm doing an interview. It was live. We're up on the multi-level library, and no one's in there. The building shut down due to COVID-19. There's just security, me and another guy there. And I hear a disembodied female voice clear as day. They heard it just like you, and and I had to run over. I'm like, hey, wait a second. I just heard a female voice, and there's no one in here. So, I'm calling, looking around, and luckily the recorders caught it. during the interview, and then I checked all the camera footage. No female. There was no one there. So that was one of them female disembodied voices. And,
Wait, you actually got evidence of it?
yeah. We were doing a live interview, and I'm up there, and I hear 2 or 3 syllables. It was loud. It was echoing. I forget what exactly maybe it was saying, but yeah, it was like 3 words, and it echoed through the place, so I couldn't tell what level it came from. And yeah.
What did it say?
I don't remember. It's something. Come here or go. I'm not
Get
sure.
out. Do you have it?
I don't
Do you
think
have it to send me?
Yeah, I do have that. Yeah, I have the clip. I can send that to you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I'll
I
throw.
put it on the website too, and maybe Facebook and Instagram, I think.
There's a few other investigators on the team that seem, they're not mediums, but they have some type of ability. And I don't know if they're just drawn to us because being able to communicate and we could see them, hear them, or something. But I think that's why we're very lucky as a team.
Right. Yeah, I think that it seems to me, I have never.
Could you hang on a second? I just heard a female voice. Did you hear that?
Oh no.
I heard something in the background.
Holy, give me a second. I got to walk over. I got to look over the railing.
Yes, just so people understand, like if you want to hear a bunch of crazy voices and stuff, you can go to Dave's Facebook page. What is it?
Oh, it's ChicagoParanormal.com.
ChicagoParanormal.com, and then you have them all on there, right?
Yeah, well, a lot of the stuff you have to go to our YouTube page. We have some videos listed, and then for the rest you have to go to our YouTube channel.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that out there that call bullshit. That's why I'm saying, just the stuff that will put in the video, the stuff that you can go, Chicago Paranormal, the Facebook page, YouTube page, and just judge for yourself. I mean,
yeah,
it's
and I
pretty
have
weird.
to say, I was like that too. I'm still like that when I see stuff on TV. You get the stuff they show, like Paranormal Con on camera. It's all like YouTube clips. I'm sitting there, like, oh, you're full of shit. This is crap, or there's no way that's real. So I do it myself. So I definitely understand. But all I can say is before I post stuff, and this is the God's honest truth. You could talk to any of my team members. That's why it takes me so long. Is just because I get something, I won't put it right away up there. I'll match every camera to it, every camera angle, every voice recorder, just to make sure it's not accidentally me, one of my team members, a client, or someone outside, that it fed in. So, just because I caught one voice doesn't mean I'm going to put it on. So I match it up with everything. And that's why it takes me a long time after an investigation to post stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you really want to be careful, because if you start posting stuff on there that's like bullshit or maybe an accident, I mean, I know you wouldn't do that, but I mean, you do make mistakes, I guess, sometimes if
You're only human, so yeah.
Yeah, but everything that I've seen, I mean, it's pretty hard to explain, really. I mean, I really just don't know, other than the fact that it's a ghost. Like, I just don't. Speaking of that, though, just to go back to the Congress Theater, that place is extremely haunted.
It really is. I would love to get in there again. And I know I think I said this in one of the other videos, but it still bothers me that little kid might be roaming around in there. That 7-year-old.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
Lights, and we caught it voicing mommy.
Yeah, let's get into that, man. So that was one of the wildest things I've saw.
I never thought I would catch a child in there. I mean, you never know for sure. They say, sometimes children's spirits could actually be something demonic trying to get your trust and, make you think it's a child. But I don't know. We had a medium. It wasn't Susan Rowland this time. This was maybe the second or third time we were there. And she sensed it was a little boy. So we had a stuffed teddy bear with sensors. put it on the ground, and as she went to its level, crouched down, we get a voice saying, "Mommy." It sounds like a child. It sounds to me like a little boy.
I'll be back in 1 second.
Come down here and give you a bottle of water. I like her, okay? They look like me.
So, and then later in the investigation, we captured, it was maybe the third level, a child turning on and off my flashlight on command. And it said it was a boy, a male boy, and then it turned it on at 7 years old. So,
If you're a male, could you please light up the flashlight? If you're a child, if you're a kid, could you turn it on? Wow. Wow, I didn't realize we were talking to a child. Cool. Yeah, that floored me. I had no idea it was going to turn out to be a child. If you could turn it off. Oh, cool. Thank you. You know what? We're going to guess your age, so we're going to count. We're going to keep on counting, and then once we hit your age, just make it light up bright. Are you 3? 3 years old? Okay, I'm going to change it now. Are you 4? 4 years old? Are you 5? How about 6? Seven? 7 years old? At this point now, we know we have a 7-year-old child. Now I'm trying to figure out if it's male or female. And we're going to get our answer right now. We still got to determine if you're a little boy or a little girl. So I'll start out with a little boy. Are you a little boy? If so, could you turn on the light? Oh, thank you. You're a little boy.
Yeah, that was one of the most wild things. And, for those who are listening, just go and check out, the YouTube channel here and you can see it. But man, that is heartbreaking and also insane at the same time.
right.
Because you literally have a boy who's looking for his mommy and he's communicating to you via turning on the flashlight on and off. And we don't know if he ever found his mom. Like, we don't know what that dimension's like. We don't know anything. And now the Congress Theater is being turned into condos.
Right. Yeah.
So we don't, you really don't know what is going to happen. Or, I mean, that's just the crazy thing about all this is you just don't know. Like, are they going to be set free or how does that work? Like, I don't know.
That part kind of bothers me. If it's, I finished like this. To me, that's unfinished business that I can't get back, at least at this time, get back in there. Because, anything, like for instance, the Cook County Hospital, or anything like that, from hospitals to police stations, that stuff, not that you'll get it perfect, but should all be cleansed and just that energy that's still in there from all the deaths, all the employees that their whole life, from doctors, nurses, or policemen, firemen, whatever it is, that energy's still in there. And just because you're redoing it, cutting it out, doesn't mean that energy's not going to be there. Even if you tear it down and build something new, that land might be tainted, where there's stuff you might have to do to it to help move this energy on to where it wants to go. You know, I'm not here to preach religion. You want to call it the light, which I believe it is, but you know, to each their own. So, but that stuff needs to be cleared and moved on, and I would never want to live. It sounds bad. I don't want to make them lose business, but I'd never want to live on property that was a hospital or a sane asylum. Or
Hell no.
no way.
I mean, here's the thing, though. People don't even know that they live in something that, like, let's say you move into one of those condos. You probably didn't even know that was an insane asylum, a hospital. I mean, you just might not know, you know.
Yeah.
And I do think you're 100% right. I mean, I never really thought about that, but especially when you're doing rehabs and stuff like that, you know, that those buildings have those energies. And yeah, it would be really wise to go in there and just try and cleanse it. If you believe in that sort of thing,
Right.
I think that would be really beneficial to go in there and set free whatever it is, or maybe you find something there that is pissed off and don't want you there.
Right.
You know, I mean, Susan's told me all kinds of stories about how people will call her and she'll cleanse their houses, or, you know, whatever it may be. But sometimes there's entities that don't want you there.
No, I get a lot of get outs, you know, and I'm usually very, very respectable, unless it's maybe sometimes I'll let loose in a prison or something like that, or a jail, or maybe a mobster place where I know they hate law enforcement. You know, so maybe I'll stir the pot there, but never in anyone's business. But yeah, it's yeah, you know, I don't know.
Wait, didn't you get attacked by a ghost?
Yes.
You
Yeah, and I
did.
didn't know that was possible, you know, until it happens. You know, like I see stuff on TV, you know, way back, or saw documentaries, and once again, I'm like, yeah, that's full of crap, you know. Excuse my language, but you know, that stuff can't happen. Boom, and then now I know, and then
Wait, what happened? Tell us what happened.
this is the worst one, and this one scared me. I got attacked twice. This was a house in Appleton, Wisconsin. Maybe it was about 4 hours to get there. And as soon as I walk in, I'll never forget this. And I got photos of it. About 30, 40 seconds after I walk in, I'm facing the hallway that leads to the bedrooms and bathroom, kitchen to my left, living room to my right. Right in front of everyone's eyes, something rips me open. I forget which side of the face, but like just misses my eyeball. Down, rips open my ear bleeds, and then a deep scratch down my neck, right in front of their eyes, and then it starts burning. But and then
Like you didn't know that, like you literally walked in the house and something just scratched you in the face?
right, yeah,
Damn.
it almost looked like maybe the one finger, because I think it started like a long welt from my eye to my ear, and then it dug in, and then it made my ear bleed, and then a scratch down my neck.
So did you go back in?
Oh yeah, I had to man up. You know, and this is what I want to document. It's inside. It scared the crap out of me, but that's what I'm there for, to try to document stuff like that. But,
Oh my
you know,
Lord.
but what got me nervous is it got me again about 2:30 in the morning. Same area. I'm standing maybe within a feet or two of that same area, and we're going to do a group session, EVP session, with the clients. They wanted to ask questions, and we're going to see if we could get any answers recorded on any devices or through the ghost box. Sometimes we'll change it up. We'll start with EVPs, play them back, and then if we don't get anything, then we'll try the spirit or ghost box and some of the other stuff like that. But I'm standing there and I'm burning. It's pitch dark. This time we have the equipment running, and I'm burning in the neck. I'm like, guys, I'm burning. Come check me out. And so they're coming with the flashlights and cameras, and a long line of welts formed on my neck, right in front of their eyes. And it's burning really bad, like someone has a lighter or fire to my skin. And now I got a few EVPs during that time too, which gives it credibility. And the one that sticks out the most was the very last one that says the word rash, like a male graspy voice.
Where do you see it?
Somewhere here I felt it.
Holy shit.
Look at that.
What's
And it's getting swollen.
where do you see it?
Somewhere here I felt it.
Holy shit.
Look at that.
What's
And it's getting swollen.
Damn.
Yeah, but what got me nervous is I thought it was going to get me again the third time, because that was that long drive, and we didn't. maybe we stopped investigating maybe about 4 in the morning. So I wanted to catch a couple hours of sleep before driving back home. But I was actually a little nervous to shut my eyes because I thought it was going to get me again.
Oh my God. So don't you, do you get nervous that these entities could attach onto you?
Yes.
Like, do you sage yourself? How do you
Yes.
protect yourself from that?
I have to thank Susan Rowland, the psychic medium, and also Lorianne Mans, who I deal with also, depending on who's available and who's around. But yeah, because there's been a handful of times after an investigation, something followed me home. Thank God, nothing bad, but it made itself known that, hey, I want your attention by grabbing my shirt, the footsteps, voices, and never had that problem before. But yeah, about a handful of times, and then not just me, but other investigators. Some of them were a little more negative. But yeah, so I opened my eyes. Hey, I got to protect myself. I have a young daughter, my wife. I don't want anything in my house. So I had to do research and to start protecting ourselves in my equipment, in my truck and house and everything else. So with Susan's help, Lori's help, got sage, different types of sage, dragon's blood, anointment oils. I got everything blessed by a priest that we use, and all kind of stuff I have.
No, has there ever been anything that scared you so much you just never wanted to do it ever again?
Yeah, twice.
Really?
Yeah, I don't even know if my wife knows. I don't know if I ever told her because I I don't want her to shut me down. But yeah, the first one, I left my side job at the college, and this was a new client, and it was a fireman's wife, and they just did, talking about reconstruction, they redid the house. It was a small house, now it's like double, triple the size, and it stirred up something. Ever since they did that, the husband started having night terrors, to the point where he had to go see doctors and sleep studies. It sounds like he's being raped. She started recording it, and it was terrifying. Just
wait, the noises he was making, he was just like,
rah! He was getting raped by something that's not there. You hear stories about the succubus, the incubus, and I don't know if that's true or not, but yeah, it sounds like he's being attacked. Never at the firehouse, but only at his house. And then people would come visit, maybe family, friends. They'd leave that night or the next day. They wouldn't stay the whole time. The daughter stopped sleeping in the room. So the husband's embarrassed, which I understand. He wanted no part of it because he doesn't want stuff documented and the story getting out. He doesn't want to get fired or a sick leave or mental status or whatever. So she was going to do it behind his back. Yeah, so as we're talking, I left the college. I'm listening to the voices of him screaming, being attacked, and she said, listen closely because I hear a female voice moaning his name as he's screaming. Now, she's doing this. She has it on her cell phone, and she's playing. We're talking on her home phone. So, I mean, I can hear him screaming and that, but I hear something, but I can't tell what the voice is saying. And I think she had 5 clips. So I pull in my driveway, and I stayed outside. It's about 11:30 at night, pitch dark. And I didn't walk in my house because I wanted a strong signal. Plus, I didn't want to wake up my wife and daughter. And as we're standing there, she's done with the clips now. And I said, hey, I hear a voice, but I can't tell what it is. And this is the God's honest truth. It still freaks me out because I don't know what the hell it was. It still bothers me. But I didn't even know this was possible. If you could picture the Exorcist type voice coming through the phone line. And at first, I got mad. I thought it was her playing a joke. I'm like, you think this is funny, wasting my time like this? She goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is not you. You don't hear this voice coming through? She goes, no, I hear your phone going in and out, but I don't hear the voice. And then she starts talking again, and his voice is over her voice now, so I know it's not her. And it's, this laugh, man, this sinister laugh. I can't even do it. I'll never forget that as long as I live.
What was it saying to you?
it didn't make any sense. It was moaning and saying some language I don't even know. I don't even know what it was saying, to be honest. And that laugh, though, that hideous damn laugh.
Wow.
And it started moaning her husband's name, like Daddy, Daddy, you know, in that type of voice. And then it started moaning my name, David, David, you know, and oh man, just talking about it, I'm freaking out.
What?
And I'm standing there in the middle of darkness. I'm like, what? I'm in shock. I'm like, what the F? What's happening? And then it came, like, I started getting choked, like 2 fingers pushing in my neck. I could feel it. I couldn't breathe. I didn't know what to do. And the only thing I could think of, I was leaning against my car and the window was open. So I grabbed the cross in the rearview mirror and I put the cross on, and then I could breathe again. And then she calls me back like a minute or 2 later, because I forgot to tell you, after it mowed my name, the phone lines went dead. And then I'm standing there in the dark, and then the choking started. Something was cutting my windpipe. And this is the God's honest truth, man. This freaked me out. And so she calls me back, and she goes, Dave, I had to call you from my cell phone. My home phone's broken. I can't even get a dial tone anymore. And then this damn voice came back. I could never get the address. I could never set a date to go over there because the thing kept on blocking. Now, maybe that saved my life, because if I went over there, I wonder what would have happened to me or whatever. But it still bothers me, because I want to know what the hell that was.
That is wild.
Opened my eyes that possibly that could have been demonic. I can't say for sure, but whatever it was powerful. And I still wonder to this day what that was, what would have happened if I went over there. But it scared the crap out of her. It scared me to death. And that was that. I never heard again.
Do you think, like, you ever heard of, like a Jekyll, or, like something really creepy, demonic like that? I mean, it could have been something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, that's the scariest story. I couldn't sleep for 2 or 3 nights after that. I didn't feel right. I always felt like something was warning, like watching over me, but I just couldn't see it. Like, you take this case, you're effed, I'm gonna get you.
So whatever happened to her?
I don't know.
Her husband's still getting raped by a freaking jackal?
Yeah, I don't know. This is what bothers me too. I mean, I'm hoping if I got that case and was able to get the address and went through with it, I'm hoping I would have been man enough to stand ground and document this, because that's, I want to be able to show stuff like this, that it does exist. But that opened my eyes, because before, I wasn't sure. But I don't know. I can't say that was demonic, but that's the closest, if it was, closest I ever got to something evil like that.
My God, that poor man. I mean, I hope they got help. I mean, that's crazy.
He saw like I said, he went to sleep studies, doctors, and he never has it at the firehouse, only at his house.
Yeah, there's something there.
Attached to him, it wants him.
There's definitely something in there messing with him. Or, I mean,
another one that freaked me out. And Susan, both mediums, I had to talk to them because I almost didn't take the case. But I don't think I told my wife about this one either. But there was I got a call from a client that lives right off of Bachelor's Grove, where that one of the most haunted cemeteries is. The way south, like right across from Rubio Woods. I can't think of the suburb offhand, but it's near like 143rd South Harlem, but east of Harlem. But anyway, she her house, her townhouse, the backyard is the woods, and behind that is the cemetery. And so she asked if I would document it. She thinks she's a little bit sensitive also, which might be attracting some stuff. But whatever it was seemed to be bad and wouldn't leave him alone. Started bothering, I think, her fiance also, if I remember right. But when I got home, I tell you, I saw something, and I never told my wife. A big black shadow thing, like standing to the right of my bed at the corner of the wall for a couple days, and it to the point where I called Susan. I think it was connected with this case, but I wasn't sure. but I felt threatened from this, and I was having nightmares them 2 days, and I could see it. It was darker than dark, but it was huge.
It was
And
just watching you.
yeah, it's and the well, it's not cool because it freaked me out, but
Cool to you. I mean, other people would shit their pants or be like mentally disturbed for the rest of their life.
I called Susan just to see if I should take the case because I was connecting this with this case, but I wasn't sure. But I think this was warning me, you take this case, there's going to be problems. And so I told Susan, I got a call about a case I want to talk to you about. And before I even said anything, she goes, you were visited by it already. And, this is what gives Susan credibility. How the hell would she know that?
What?
God, you were visited already. She goes, don't take this case, Dave. She says she didn't even know that the cemetery was connected. And she goes, it's coming from the cemetery. I don't think she knew the name of the cemetery, if I recall. But she says, it's coming from the cemetery. And she says, it changes form from a human form to, she called it a jackal.
Yeah.
With the 4 legs.
Yeah.
And he says, that's what she described it as, that what was visiting me in the room. And she goes, Dave, it's demonic, evil. Don't take the case because you're going to have problems afterwards. And it's going to want to destroy you or your family, with negativity. So, that freaked me out. So I called the team. I'm like, okay, this is what's going on. And I also called the client. Well, I didn't call the client yet, but I told my team, I'm like, what should I do? And I'm like, you know what? Just to verify this, because I never turned down the case before, I called another medium that was in Wisconsin. She's about as talented as Susan. And same thing. She knew nothing about it. She described it.
Stay away.
Yeah. She says, yeah, same thing. It already showed itself to you. And she actually just described the house she never even saw before, and described where it came from. She also said it came from the cemetery. And I don't know if she described it as a jackal, but she described it a shapeshifter that shifted from like a human form type to an animal form. And so I'm like, damn, I'm not going to take the case. It's just not worth bringing this negativity. And, if it is demonic, the theory with demonic is that, it wants you to drive you to kill yourself or your family, and but negativity. And she goes, both of them said it's not worth it. Sometimes you have to walk away from a case. So told the team that. I called the client and I explained it to her. She's scared to death, but she understands. And maybe a day or two before that we had the date set, I get called from Lori, the medium. She goes, Dave, whatever's there is gone. I don't sense it. I don't see it anymore. You could take the case. It's safe. So I ended up taking the case, and everything was fine, man.
Wow.
That one scared me. I was
Yeah, you kind of have to wonder with people and, just maybe their attitudes or just evil people in general. Do you think that there is something demonic possessing them, or maybe that's what a possession really is something in them that's making them that way? Or, I mean, it's hard to say. There's some messed up people out there, and you sometimes I'll read something horrific and I'm like, how did that person do that? Like,
for instance, once I kill their family, their kids and their wife.
Like,
I mean, what drove them to do that? Or
I mean, I know people have shitty childhoods and they're abused and all these things, but some of the stuff you see, it's like you have to think that something possessed them or something happened to them. I mean, look at Netflix. There's like 400 million shows on there about people murdering or doing these things, or serial killers doing this or that. I mean, just to think about doing something like that, I don't know if I could. I mean, it's just like, it's crazy.
I think it's out there, but I think it's very rare, a demonic possession. I
mean, do you think people,
from what I experienced a few times, and then I after going through that, I got, not that I go to church every Sunday, but I got a little more religious for protection and everything else, get stuff blessed. And there's a pastor. He actually helped bury my dad, did the ceremony and everything, or the funeral, you know,
Yeah.
for us. But he gave me a phone number, a connection of someone he knows. He's authorized to do exorcisms. He's the only one in the city uh, authorized to do that. And for the archdiocese to have people like that, there's got to be something out there that.
Yeah. I have to believe that. I mean, there's just so many things that you see and so many people doing horrific stuff. I just have to believe that maybe that's why. I mean, I don't know, man, but it just seems demonic, right? Like,
Right. Yeah. It's, you know, and I know, I mean, talking to Susan, talking to Lori in different mediums, and I kind of agree with this. You know, if you're an earthbound spirit, never, once they died, their energy never went to the other side, whatever you want to call that. You know, they're stuck earthbound. And they say, you know, excuse the expression, if you're an asshole or a mean person when you were alive, you're going to be like that when you're dead, earthbound, unless you move on. And
right.
so if you were an evil person and you never moved on, like say if you were one of these gangsters that had no problem killing people, and
Right.
your energy's still here, and you never moved on, you know, you're gonna be like that.
And there's a lot of them in Chicago, so
Yeah, yeah,
you know, they're
right,
probably walking around here doing something crazy,
right.
you
I,
know.
did I ever tell you that gangster place I went to? First time I ever got some F-bombs and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even know that was possible, you know, but yeah, I did get sworn at a few times from the other side.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they're gonna claw you in the face, they're gonna swear at you, they're gonna choke you out. I mean, man, that stuff is so fascinating. That's why I wanted to have you on, because there's a lot of people that don't believe in this stuff, but then you see evidence like what you have, and then you're like, what? And then, you know, maybe something else happened in your life. Like I said, I've never had anything happen to me, so it's just this thing. I mean, I don't know that I want to have something happen to me, first of all.
Yeah,
Because, you know, sometimes you see a ghost that could like really mess someone up, right? You know, they probably freak out if you're not uh that type of in that type of mental state, I guess. I mean, people are always like, "Oh, I want to see a ghost," and then you see some crazy shit like a jackal, and then you're like,
yeah,
you get cuckoo, you know?
yeah.
Well, do you think when people take drugs sometimes they slip into some other reality and they see some crazy shit? Like maybe that opens them up to see other things, you know? Maybe. I don't know.
I tell you what, my dad, to this day, to just before he died, he still brought it up. But before we put him in a nursing home, you know, he had dementia, so he's starting to lose it, and we blame it on dementia. But he never changes his story on this. Before we had to put him in a home because it was just getting too dangerous. He started to mess with electrical stuff, and it would, you know, he didn't know what he was doing, so we thought, you
Right.
know, going out in the winter time with no jacket, no shoes on, and so it just got, we couldn't control him anymore, so we had to put him away. But he swears on this, and he still, before the day before he died, well, a couple days before he died, he brought it up again. He, you know, he says he swears he saw two men in the basement, and never mentioned this before, but you know, this is probably his dementia, but you know, usually their stories end up changing and this and that, but he swears that he saw two men around the boiler, and he said one
Probably
of them
not.
was really mean. He's, you know, he was scared of one of them.
Probably not, man. I mean, if you think about it, if you have some sort of sensibility, he probably had someone. But a lot of times, old timers and people like that, they're like, whatever, you know, like they're tough, right? So that's bullshit. They don't want to think about that. But in reality, maybe he did see that. I mean, you are Susan's cousin, right?
No, you know, Susan is my wife's godmother.
Oh, okay. So I was gonna say, but you know, maybe there's something in the family or whatever. It's like he probably could have, man. Like I wouldn't doubt it, is what I'm
A
saying.
year and a half, his story would have changed. His description would have changed because with the dementia, how do you remember? You know, the memory's all bad. But
Well, sometimes with that, I think you remember the past, like it was yesterday, but you don't know like you can't remember the present. Is that
Right.
how that works?
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
And but yeah, his story never changed up until he died for like a year and a half. He would bring it up because it still frightened him.
Yeah, that's one thing that you know will never get old, or ghost stories, or paranormal, or any of that stuff, because it's so unknown and so crazy that it's just fascinating. I mean, it's like aliens, like, are they there? Are they not there? And then look what's happening recently, all these alien sightings, and
Right.
So
I still want to believe in that too. I mean, until, like I say, even with paranormal investigating, with ghost hunting, I got to experience it for myself. Until I see, a UFO, I want to believe, but I'm still critical. I'm still skeptical. So.
Me too, man. I love that stuff, especially conspiracies.
One of these days, I'd like to set up my gear, bring a truck to instead of cameras everywhere, and to a known spot known for UFO activity.
Yeah, I mean, they're all over. I mean,
yeah.
I guess you could go by an Air Force base and figure that out real fast. You might get a little visit, but you never know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man. Thanks for coming on here. I gotta wrap it up, but tell people where they can find you.
Oh yeah, ChicagoParanormal.com. On Facebook, it's Chicago Paranormal Investigators, and on Instagram you can find us too, and has all of our videos. I still got stuff that I'm working on that I have, or some of my old videos I'm redoing and updating and stuff like that. But yeah, you can find all that stuff on there. You need to contact us for a possible investigation. Just go to the website, Facebook, send us a message on Instagram, whatever, and one of us will get back to you as soon as possible. So, I can't jump on every case. Sometimes we got to
Right.
Just because everyone works. Like my schedule's all screwed up. Being a policeman, especially now the way things are. Matt, the fireman, his schedule's, he has a tough schedule sometimes. So, and then because it takes us a while to go through all the footage, I at least got to leave 2 or 3 weeks in between an investigation, by the time you download everything, and then go through everything, and it takes a long time. So
I feel you, man. That's what I do when I edit these videos, and it's a process, but it's worth it. I love it. So
yeah, me too. It's I love talking about it. It puts a smile on my face.
Me too, man. I'm ready to go. Let's go somewhere. All right, man. Well, it was great talking with you. And yeah, if you ever get that dog sniffing ghosts out, give me a call.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be for the new year. We're gonna work on that.
Damn, that would be
I'll
so
let you
cool.
know. Yeah,
that would be so cool. All right, Dave. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.